Hello and welcome to episode 166 of That King Thing, the gaming podcast hosted by us, the King Brothers. I am your host and the eldest King sibling, Thomas, and I am joined by middle King sibling, Joshua.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
And littlest King sibling, James.
Hello.
How are we both?
Good, thanks.
We're all right.
You never usually ask that.
Yeah. How are you? One.
I'm all right. I'm just stalling for time because I'm busy changing some settings on my keyboard and mouse. Because I've just noticed that whenever someone messages me on Discord, everything's lighting up, and that pisses me off, so I'm turning it off. Because that's right, people are messaging me on Discord again, everyone. It's that time of the week where everyone wants to talk to me because they know I'm recording and they know it puts me off. It's fun. Yeah. It's worked. Because now I've lost track. What have we been playing this week, gentlemen?
Nothing.
Oh, well.
No, nothing out of the ordinary anyway.
So it literally just FIFA and the usual shit for you,
Yeah.
I assume.
COD and a tiny bit of Daisy, but I'm not on that as often though.
Yeah, you need to get on the PC shit with us, James. Joshua's joined the crew, Annie.
I only have a laptop.
Well, you could have my old computer that I stopped using when I built this super powerhouse. There you go. Problem solved.
Fine by me.
I just want you to play games with me, James.
I will have your computer then. I love your computer.
That solves that problem then, I guess. Joshua, what were you going to say?
I've been playing a lot of random shit, but mainly I've played Borderlands 2 from start to finish so far, and I've just started the new expansion. So I've not done anything except like the first mission or so in that, but I am in the process of going through it.
Nice one.
And we'll hopefully finish it by next week's podcast. So I'll be able to let you know if it's worth doing. Which it is. It is worth doing, but...
Well, it is worth doing, yeah. You don't need to know if it's worth doing, because it is worth doing. I've been playing a little bit of Borderlands 2 myself, but I've kind of started a new character.
That's what I've done.
And I mentioned the other week that I bought that stupidly priced Borderlands 2 thing. The £4 mega deal on Steam. Yeah. So I've started it on the PC for the first time because obviously I'd only ever played it on console before now. So it meant starting fresh. I know you can start at like level 30 if you choose to, can't you? So
yeah,
I could have done that and just jumped straight into the expansion, but I kind of like the idea of going back and doing the base content again and refreshing myself on the story.
That's exactly why I wanted to do it. I just wanted to go through it again and just... I was going to try and do all the DLC, but I think that'll take a lot longer than I think it will. There's a lot of content.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do the main story, but all the old DLC I might sack off for the time being. We'll see. Depends on how I feel about it.
That's what I've done anyway, because the level cap, I think it used to be 50, and now it's 80 because of the newest expansion.
It went up by... I'm pretty sure it went up by 10 with every DLC, or every major DLC. And there's like 3 sort of main ones. So as far as I remember, it was like 50, then it got increased to 60, then 70, then 80. And then you got the badass points as well from memory as well.
Yeah.
It's a long time since I played that game, Endgame. But it was along those lines. And I'm sure I'll know soon enough because I'll get there eventually. But... Yeah, you got all the Necromancer class and stuff like that as well, haven't you? Because of the free DLCs and shit,
or whatever it's called, the actual bandit that you can play as. I can't remember what it's called. Psycho.
Yeah, you mean the bandit guy? Like I said, the Gunzerker Berserkers.
That's what I'm playing as
characters.
The Gunzerker.
Funnily enough, that's what I'm leveling as well.
I did have a commando beforehand, the guy with the turret.
Yes, use.
Roland. Roland on first one and then Axel
Roland
on this one or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, there is one on this game, isn't there? Yeah.
But I'm playing as Gunzerker, more of a tanky character. Or at least that's how I'm playing him.
Yeah, you can go pretty tanky with the Gunzerker because you can spec into that far end tree that's very like healing orientated, self-healing.
Yeah, if I get shot at, I start healing while I'm already healing anyway because of my regen.
Yeah.
And then my ability, when I activate that, I begin healing even more, and then things start attacking me when I scream at them. Kind of shit. So that's kind of fun. But I've also been playing Gears of War 4 because I've never finished it, and I'm playing through that with Craig Mitchell.
That's interesting. I know a few people that have been playing Gears 4 lately, and I was hoping that it was going to be in the Games Pass, but as we discovered last week, it's...
Yeah, it's...
Oh, no, it isn't.
It isn't.
No, it was Halo we checked last week. Hang on a minute. I'm pretty sure it actually is in the Game Pass now.
It is, because I'm installing it.
Halo we checked. What, on PC?
On PC. It's been on PC One for quite a while, but it's
it was one of the early titles to be a Play Anywhere.
Yeah, so getting it through Game Pass, like what I already did, I've already had it installed on my PC before the PC Game Pass was out.
Do you know what? Oh my lord, it is 133 gig.
Yes, it is. That's why I've paused it while we're doing the podcast, because it's big.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. That explains a conversation I saw earlier on Discord where somebody said, holy shit, it's 130 gig. And I was like, what the fuck are they installing? Like, even Elder Scrolls isn't that big, and Elder Scrolls is fucking massive. Like, ESO is something like 80 gig, I think. And that's massive. That's the biggest game I think I've got installed. And it obviously turns out when I install Gears, that'll be the biggest game.
It's 133.7 gig, and I am 119 gig through it. And that's been going for about an hour.
Yeah.
So that's quite a long time.
I'm hoping mine will be pretty quick because of my ridiculous internet that everyone knows
it probably will be. My internet's like 80 meg max, and I'm also wirelessing it through like every wall in the house to get to this room I'm in now.
My hub is literally designed to be as efficient as possible. Like the internet line, the cable line comes into this very room rather than downstairs in the living room, and then it is like literally the shortest piece of fiber optic cable into the back of the router possible, and then it's the shortest Ethernet cable to the back of the PC and the back of the Xbox that's within reason. That means I can move it around if I need to, but it's not too long. So it's as efficient as I can possibly make it.
Your cable guy, when he turned up, must have thought he's going to spend so much time in that back room.
Porn. Porn.
Technically speaking, it was an office before it became a gaming hub.
True.
For legal reasons, it was always an office. If the taxman is listening, it's an office, honest.
Porn.
It's got nothing to do with porn. It's to do with my tax return.
That's why Thomas does all his filming.
It's all got nothing to do with that. It's to do with my tax return. Because it's an office for my tax purposes. But yeah, it's very efficient and very fast broadband, so...
Good.
I'll download Gears of War in like 5 minutes. It'll just take up a huge amount of space on my computer.
It does that is a tenth of my space, that. So I've only got a terabyte.
I'm intrigued on where it's going to store it because it won't fit on my solid state. Anyway, that's getting really beyond the point. Other than Borderlands, getting back to track, I've not played much other than quite a bit of Elder Scrolls Online, because I've converted a whole ton of people to playing that with me on PC. So there's like 11 people now that are all playing Elder Scrolls Online. So we've ended up forming like a mini guild. And then other than that, I've actually quite got into Elder Scrolls Legends. And I've got into Elder Scrolls Legends more than I ever got into Hearthstone. Like, I always wanted to like Hearthstone because of my love for World of Warcraft and the World of Warcraft universe and the fact that Hearthstone's set in it. But I've ended up more into Elder Scrolls Legends so far. I've still not done a huge amount, but I've finished one of the first campaigns and started getting better cards and kind of getting a feel for building my own deck now. And I'm not really very good at battle card. Would you call them battle card games? Are they officially trading card games, or are they?
I think they're just. I can't remember. Card and board games, I think they get classified as.
Yeah, well, whatever you'd classify those card games as, like, I'm never really that good at them. Or at least I'm not very good at building my own deck because I never quite get the combinations right. I guess with time I probably would. But it's an interesting sort of angle because of the way that you build your decks and some of the way that the abilities work and some of the kind of unique twists that are in Elder Scrolls Legends. And because obviously each one's got its own like little thing, hasn't it, really, that makes it slightly different to the other card games, other than the lore of the series that it's set in.
Yeah.
So I might give Hearthstone another try because now I've kind of got a feel for how Elder Scrolls Legends works. I've got a feeling I could possibly enjoy Hearthstone more, but only trying it again will tell, I guess. So we'll have to see. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Elder Scrolls Online and Elder Scrolls Legends. I've become a Scrollser. What would you call someone that like basically just plays Elder Scrolls games? A Scrollser? An Elders? An Elderer?
An ESO?
No, because it's not just Elder Scrolls Online, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what you call them.
Elder
Nerd!
Yeah, that works. But that works for a lot of things.
True.
You could like taking photos and be a nerd.
Well, yeah, if you take photos of trains.
Yeah.
Train spotting, nerd!
Porn.
Porn.
I don't think anyone who takes photos in the porn industry is a nerd.
They are pornographers.
Yeah, they're pornographers. Anyway.
News.
Okay, so interesting news this week is that Jedi Fallen Order is not as boring as some people thought from the E3 showcase. James, you were one of the people that was a little bit skeptical of how boring it might be, weren't you, originally?
Well, not necessarily boring, just repetitive. Like going to a place and sort of swinging your lightsaber about a bit and then fucking off.
It seems from some things released this week that that's not the case. So a lot of people at E3 were saying they were a bit, or watching E3, should I say, were saying they were a bit underwhelmed by the gameplay that we saw and thought there wasn't really much to it, like what you were saying, James, where you thought it was just maybe turn up somewhere, swing your lightsaber a bit, and then that's it, move on to the next bit. But then a lot of the press and everyone that were actually physically at E3 went onto the floor for the days afterwards, played the demo that was available, and basically found out that the game has so much more to it that wasn't even touched upon during the press conference. And it seems that they're quite in praise, I guess, of what the game actually is and has the potential to be when it releases. I want to say it's either November or December. It's at the end of this year, isn't it? So it's about 6 months away. But it seems like it's got a huge open world, and there's like a spaceship with a crew, and you can travel between different planets, and you can visit them in whatever order you want. So you can kind of go wherever you want, whenever you want. The enemy combat's got lots of different elements to it that mean that you need different techniques to defeat certain things and so on. And a lot of people that have either played it and reported about it in terms of gaming press, and even the game director, Stig Asmussen himself, have compared a lot of the elements to games like Dark Souls series and things like that.
Yeah.
Which I guess with the way that they've started talking about it since, I can see, and there is definite similarities there. But I'll just quickly do a quote from Stig Asmussen because it kind of explains a bit more about what the game actually has. So he said the following. He said, I promise there is considerable challenge and depth to be found within our combat system. The same can be said about our approach to level design, which is crafted in a non-linear way with heavy influences from games like Metroid, Castlevania, and the Souls series. The game will feature several planets that the player can elect to travel to via starship. On these worlds, unique abilities and upgrades can be found that will open up new paths across other planets and making retraversal an essential part of the gaming experience. So, in short, I guess you potentially go into a planet. As part of what you do there, you might uncover a new ability, which will enable you to go back to a planet you've previously visited and get into an area that you couldn't get into before. So there's a lot more exploration to it rather than just
Legend of Zelda style. You need your grappling hook to get in here, but you've not got one yet.
Well, so many games have done it for so many years. Like, think even back to the most simplistic versions of like what's in Pokemon.
Yeah,
like you can only get to certain places once you've got the Pokeflute for Snorlax.
Yeah,
or the
HM1
the cut things. The cut ability. So, like this, and surf as well, certain places you can't get to without surf. So, it's that basic principle of kind of gating certain parts of the content behind something that you achieve somewhere else and kind of giving you that onus to learn an ability and come back and keep that exploration element to it, I guess, rather than just being linear, start level, run through it, slashing the fuck out of stormtroopers and then leaving. It sounds like there'd be a lot more to it, which is good. And they've also re-released the gameplay trailer, and it's like nearly half an hour now instead of 15 minutes or whatever it was before. So it's still very similar. The bit that they're playing through is very similar, but there's a lot more to it, and I think it does show a little bit more of what they're talking about in terms of that different style of gameplay, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if either of you two have had a chance to see that yet.
I haven't seen the new one. I've seen the 15-ish minute one.
What do you think to the changes that they're saying? Well, sorry, it's not even changes, is it? What do you think to the new information?
I like the way that they're saying it's similar to a Dark Souls game, because in that you have to change the way you're doing things or you are going to get smacked up to shit. If it's similar to that where you've got to proper plan and die and come back and do it again because you've like, I need to do this more often or change up and use my force more than my lightsaber or whatever. Like figuring things out.
If it were to that degree.
No.
It sounds to me like it's a case of you might be in a fight and mob's got a certain mechanic that, you know, if you don't block, it's going to mess you up kind of thing. And you've got to block that mechanic no matter what. And other ones will be like a bit trashier and you can just kind of swing through them.
Yeah.
But then you'll get certain ones that you've got to block or you've got to force push away during a certain move because it's like an AoE thing that'll smash you. So you force push them away. Or like some might move away and you got to pull them back in, and I can imagine it being that kind of thing from the way that they've talked about it.
Yeah,
which is cool. That's what you want from a game,
exactly.
Like some form of challenge.
It all depends on if they actually live up to it or not.
Yeah, but looking at what I'm saying is looking at the new gameplay, it covers a lot of what they've said that the game will do. And we've got to remember it's still 6 months away, so what we're probably seeing is like an early prototype, if you will, of an early mission within the game. Like, how often is it that the thing that you see at like E3 or the big reveal preview ends up being like level 1 the first 5 to 10 minutes? That's nearly always what you see because it's probably one of the bits that's like finished first, because I'm guessing they worked through it in the order that the game exists.
Bit weird doing it backwards.
It would be weird starting at the end and then working
level
backwards.
We're showing you.
We're going to show you a gameplay reveal today, and it's just like you literally killing the last boss and spoiling the entire story for everyone.
It's a little boss fight we like to call the last one. So if you do want to buy the game, expect this guy to kill you at the end.
Yeah. Just like reveals the whole major twist accidentally because they don't realise what they're doing with the trailer.
This guy was your brother at the beginning of the game and he was nice. Now he's clearly not.
Yeah, but it'd be even funny if you didn't know that. So like they show you this fight and you see this fight and then you're like, oh, that was pretty fucking cool. And then you eventually buy the game, start the game, and then it's like, hi, brother. And you're like, wait a minute, in the gameplay trailer, you were the boss. What the fuck? And then you have to and you sat there playing it for hours and hours and hours thinking, I'm sure this is that guy. You watch the trailer back, you're like, it's definitely that guy. And you keep playing and playing and playing and playing. You're 20 hours in and you're like, how is he still a good guy? And then right at the end he turns and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then they're just rubbing their hands all the way to the bank. Because they fucked you.
Money.
Oh. Yeah, so that's Star Wars, everyone. That's what's going on there. James, have you got any opinion to add to that? You haven't really said much, and it was you that was sort of excited for the game, but simultaneously a little bit disappointed by what we saw at E3, I guess. So
it's good that there is more to it, because I'm not gonna lie, that trailer didn't really.
I was the same. I was the same. I'm a bit different to you, because obviously you really like your Star Wars games of that sort of ilk, don't you? Like those campaign Star Wars games. Yeah. I like Star Wars games because I like the Star Wars franchise, but I just pick them up as and when kind of thing. I don't go out of my way to play them or anything. Whereas I know you'd probably look at buying that day one and play it. So, but I felt a bit underwhelmed by it. But I sort of just felt that was maybe my lack of interest in it to begin with. So it was interesting to hear you say that you thought that. So
yeah, it looks good. It's just it didn't look like it had much to it. And if they have got all this open world and all this cool stuff that you can go off and do, then that is sound. An open world Star Wars game never been done. So that would be quite cool. And an online aspect to it as well. Oh God, now you're talking. But no, yeah, I think it should be alright. Depends if they're chatting shit and it don't pull off at all, and it fucks up and it's just a massive meltdown, and your lightsaber turns out it's actually a banana and they didn't have the funds to cover it and all this shit.
There is a Star Wars MMO, James, which is open world and online already.
You're on about
Old Kingdom, is it?
Yeah, but how old is that kingdom?
It's a pretty old game now.
It is, yeah.
Soft Google it. Yeah, it still exists. A lot of people still play it though. It's not a dead game or anything. So it does exist and people do play it. It's all, in fact, it is the Old Republic, isn't it? Not Old Kingdom.
Yeah, that's the Old Republic.
It's Old Republic.
Yeah. I knew it was old something.
Because Knights of the Old Republic is the old game from Xbox era, isn't it?
Yeah.
And PS2. So Knights of the Old Republic is the old game. Old Republic is the MMO, which, funnily enough, I've never played. As much as I'm a big MMORPG person, I've never actually played the Old Republic. So maybe we should try it together at some point between us. See what it's like. I don't know if it's a free to play or not. We'd have to have a look, I guess.
It looks like it is.
It does say play free on this website. I've just clicked on though. So maybe it is. Let's play it together, brothers. And then one of us can turn to the dark side. Or we should all be the dark side.
I like one of us turns good.
Oh, that's the twist. That is the twist.
You were like a brother to me, Joshua.
Like a brother.
Yeah, because Obi-Wan says that to Anakin.
Yeah, but they weren't actually brothers.
You never know. Bloodlines.
Joshua is your actual brother. So he wasn't like a brother to you. It's you are my brother.
I'm adopted, remember? So.
Oh yeah, we did play that joke for a long time. Fair enough. Let's move away from Star Wars and sibling issues. PUBG Corp have a new game in development.
Ooh.
It is being led by one Glen Schofield, who he basically used to work at Visceral Studios, working on Dead Space. So he was part of the team that brought us Dead Space. He co-founded Sledgehammer, which means he's worked on the Call of Duty series before. James and many others may know him as the infamous nose whistler.
Oh, got him. I was just literally about to say anyone named Glenn is of importance. And his is because of nose whistling.
Yeah, so this is Nose Whistler from... For anyone that doesn't reference the joke very well, there's an episode a long while ago, around the time that Call of Duty World War II was revealed, and they did a sort of a press conference kind of stage show thing, didn't they? Like a reveal show.
Yeah.
And it was just some guys on stage showing some gameplay and talking about it. Pretty similar to Battlefield when Battlefield did one. And there was Glen sat on stage doing exactly what James is doing now to annoy me. And he was just breathing through his nose, and like he'd clearly had a cold or something, or his mic was just in a bad position. And he was just constantly whistling through his nose.
Could have had a really severely broken nose, and that is permanent, which...
Yeah, but in every other video I've seen of him, he doesn't do it. It was just that one occurrence.
Or he could just have had a lot of cocaine.
Yeah. Maybe he's had his nose fixed since.
Yeah, there's many possibilities out there, but I think he just had a cold.
So the news out of this is that PUBG Corp are making a new game. He's lead on it. They've formed a new dev studio that they're calling Striking Distance, based in California, rather than the devs that work on PUBG itself. What I do find interesting is that Glen Schofield worked at Visceral, that eventually got shut down by EA. Glen Schofield then founded Sledgehammer, which has been kicked off the COD project and doesn't really do anything else. So what is going to happen to this project? Is it going to work? Or is it going to just fall to shit?
It might work, but then Glen Schofield is going to disappear and start a new company.
And then it'll go to shit. Yeah, that's when it'll go to shit. What they have stressed is that it's not PUBG 2. It's not like a sequel to PUBG. They've said that they also want to try and expand the franchise outside of Battle Royale.
It's a more team-based, similar style, same items, just team-based, team deathmatch, capture the flag, that kind of shit.
Who knows? Like, this news literally came out about 2 hours before we were recording. It was earlier this evening.
Yeah.
So, technically speaking, we might be like breaking this news to some people, I guess, depending on when they hear the podcast. But I noticed it as I was like flicking through. And there's like a little 1 minute video that's gone out of Glen himself, like saying, "Oh, I'm excited to join PUBG Corp and start up Striking Distance," and just said that there'll be updates on Twitter and stuff over the next few days. So will be interesting to see where that goes. But yeah, I don't expect PUBG 2.
No.
Mainly because I wouldn't say the Battle Royale scene is dying out, because it's not by any means, but the hype around Battle Royales is sort of kind of petering away a bit. Like, you've got your regulars that play them all the time, and stuff like that, but I think generally speaking, the hype of Battle Royales has calmed down now.
Yeah. Quite significantly.
So if you bring out a new Battle Royale now, you probably fucked.
It depends. You can do it a bit like how COD have done it, with it being an add-on into a game, like a game mode within a game.
Yeah, it could work as a game mode in an existing game. Yes, but I mean to bring out like to bring out another PUBG, Fortnite Battle Royale, Ring of Elysium, whatever it might be, like a standalone Battle Royale that's not got anything else.
Yeah.
I think you'd
be a bit late to the party if you're doing it now.
Yeah,
it's sort of just becoming a thing now, and you want something new. You don't want something that's already there 20 times over.
Out of interest, this sort of leads us kind of into the next piece of news. So the next thing it's actually Fortnite related, which is why it stays on topic with the Battle Royales. But the reason I was sort of saying that I think the sort of hype bubble has burst and things are maybe starting to level out a little bit at what you'd consider like, say, the norm for what is this new genre, I guess. Fortnite revenues are basically down 38% from last year.
What?
So that's quite significant, especially considering that they've just started a new season. So you'd expect season pass sales and stuff like that to be keeping numbers up. And it sounds like May, this is related to May specifically. So basically, it's not like they've It's not like they're making fuck all money, because for May they made $200 million in May alone, but that is 38% less than what they were making this time last year. What that means is the hype that was there, obviously, last year when Fortnite was at its peak, is starting to, I guess, even out. Like, obviously, they're still making a shitload of money from it, but you've got to remember how much of that money is then going back out into the constant development that's keeping the game in the state that it's in, I guess, because it won't be cheap to keep that game in the state that it's in, with constant updates, constant content, and what is a relatively well-oiled
machine
experience, I guess. You don't really have many huge bug issues and shit like that in Fortnite, do you, when you think about it?
No, not really.
You used to, but you don't anymore. Now it's been fully released and it's been out for a good time. You don't really get any problems.
It was mainly in the Save the World mode that there were bugs.
Yeah, if you do get any problems with them at all, they are normally straight on it and say, "We're sorry, it'll be done in an hour," and it is done in an hour.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
I don't need to keep up on their posts or anything, but if I ever look at Twitter and there's problems with that, they've got it and solved it within the same sort of section of my Twitter feed, kind of thing. I don't know why I've still got them coming through, because I don't play it anymore, but it does come up.
Well, the other thing that was coupled with this, the sort of the drop in revenues, is Twitch viewing figures. And basically, again, this time last year, Fortnite was hitting like 220k viewers per hour, and now it's hitting an average of 130k viewers per hour. So it's not quite half, but it's heading that way.
It's possibly because people are bored of watching it now.
Well, here's the thing: like at the time when Fortnite hit its peak, there was two factors. There was obviously the huge PUBG hype that they kind of capitalized on.
Yeah.
Because they came to consoles before PUBG.
Yeah.
So they captured a fucking huge audience that were kind of desperate to play PUBG, because there was this whole hype around PUBG on PC, and everyone was watching people stream that on PC and just dying for it to come out to console. And Fortnite filled that gap and basically just absorbed every single Battle Royale wannabe on console, in essence. And that peaks then obviously died over time. You've got it evened out, but when you've got people like Ninja that aren't streaming Fortnite constantly anymore, like my understanding is whenever I saw Ninja on Twitch, he was streaming Fortnite, and that is what he was doing. Whereas now, you see him streaming other stuff, not as much. Obviously, it is still mainly Fortnite, but he is streaming other stuff from what I've seen. So he's not like solely Fortnite, as far as I know anymore. And I guess the viewing figures are like people have just found people are sort of slowly filtering out. It's like other versions of Battle Royale. Like some people have kind of always stayed with PUBG. Some people went to Fortnite for a little bit and then have come back to PUBG, or kind of moved from Fortnite to PUBG once that came out on console. Yeah. Same will have happened when it then re-released on PS4. People will have dropped off other stuff. Some people have gone to Apex for a while and then come back. Like, it's just one of those things where people go through peaks and troughs, and it's just sort of evening out a little bit now. So it's not like Fortnite's dead or Battle Royale's dead, but I think the hype's gone now, I guess, is the best way of putting it.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see what the future holds for them all, I guess.
Or the kids who watched it and played it have sort of grown up and out of it now and don't really care about it anymore.
Yeah, but I know that the general player base of Fortnite is stereotypically young.
Yeah.
And you're talking teenagers, and not many people above like teenage age play Fortnite. But I think saying that is also a little bit inaccurate, because plenty of people that are adults play Fortnite. The difference is that the kids are actually playing Fortnite, and kids and an online gaming community doesn't always happen that often. So it's one of those things like where it's a free game that all these kids literally just need a console to be able to play, or a computer to be able to play. And it's a free game, it's hyped, and it's something that parents aren't that bothered about letting them play, because even though it's like a fighting, shoot 'em up battle royale game,
it's cartoony.
It's done in a fucking cartoony style. There's no blood and guts everywhere, and it's got that sort of kid-friendly vibe about it. It appeals to such like a wider audience, and I think that's also key to the numbers, is that it's available to like someone from like 10 years old up to fucking 40 years old or whatever. And people at both ends of that spectrum will be playing it. Whereas when you look at Apex, there isn't going to be a 10-year-old that interested in playing Apex like what they are interested in playing in Fortnite.
Complex.
Apex is, again, not to generalize, but it's aimed at our age group, like 20s to 30s or something. Like, and don't get me wrong, there'll be plenty of people younger and older than that playing it, but that's kind of where that game sits, I guess. So it also helps that Fortnite's on so many platforms. Like, you can play it on your phone and shit now.
Yeah.
And you're playing proper Fortnite with people on console and stuff, aren't you? Whereas PUBG Mobile was just a standalone weird thing. The Fortnite is literally accessible on just about anything now. Yeah. It's surely become the Skyrim of the modern generation. Like, what are they going to release it on next? Because it is on fucking everything as it is. So, yeah. Last proper bit of news for this week. EA are in the news again. Can you guess what they're for?
Being shit.
Kind of. Joshua, any guess?
Loot boxes.
No, not loot boxes.
Oh, no.
Surprise mechanics.
Yeah.
So they've basically been in front of a UK Parliament committee recently, in the last week or so, and they've basically tried to sell the fact that loot boxes aren't loot boxes, and what they sell are surprise mechanics, and literally compared Ultimate Team packs to Kinder Eggs.
What?
Literally compared.
Have they ever opened
and they basically
thingy pack?
They basically said it's a surprise element where it's not a loot box, because I can't remember exactly how they put it, but they said it is like buying a Kinder Egg and not knowing what toy is inside. You just know you're going to get a toy.
Yeah.
So they're saying, like, you know you're going to get some Ultimate Team cards, you just don't know which ones. But one thing that I've seen, I believe there's a guys at Inside Gaming that I saw point this out, but their point was the big difference between like Ultimate Team cards and Madden packs and whatever else you consider loot boxes. No, the difference to the Kinder Eggs is the fucking point, is that all these things that EA sell in their packs, they literally have like a value, because a toy from a Kinder Egg and a toy from all these other sort of surprise toy manufacturers, whatever you want to call them, that they're trying to compare themselves to. The difference is that's lols.
Yeah,
and what's the one, Hatchums or whatever they're called?
Yeah.
Is it Hatchums? Like that's the kind of thing they were trying to compare themselves to. But the difference between them and stuff that's in an Ultimate Team pack is, in an Ultimate Team pack, you've got players that have literally got a value.
Yeah.
Like, even in-game, they have a coin value, because some are better than others. A toy from a Kinder Egg is a toy from a Kinder Egg. And it's like, oh, I got a car and you got a soldier. Do you want to swap? Yeah, because they're the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
There's no like value attached to them. Same with like the Hatchums and all that fucking shit. They're just toys, and if you get one that's a different color, that's about all it is, or like a different style, and you can swap and trade them at like face value because they're all equal. They're just different colors and different styles, but they're all the same value.
The thing,
unless like one is considered like a really exclusive one, but that's people putting a value on it, not an actual monetary value on the thing.
Yeah.
An Ultimate Team card, if you get a Ronaldo
you're laughing.
or a Messi or whatever, you've got like a physical value that is far higher than getting George Boyd.
George Boyd.
Like, that's a reference for anyone who watches shit football.
Shit indeed.
George Boyd, oh, what a lad. But my point is, like, there's a very big difference, and those two cards could come out of the exact same pack.
The other thing that EA could do is if they are wanting to go down this whole, it's a surprise pack element thing or whatever, then what Kinder Egg do is they show you what could possibly be in that pack. You could get one of 6 toys, so why not limit the cards to 1 player and put 6 players in that little thing of, if you buy this pack, you get one of these 6 players. Which one are you going to get?
If you buy one, you get one free.
But
this is the thing, like, the massive thing with all of this is the whole element of they're trying to make it like, it's a surprise mechanic because you're going to get one of these set items and stuff, and you know kind of what you're going to get, but you really don't. Like,
you really don't.
No.
An example would be, right, I'm only referring to this because it's a game I've been playing a lot recently, but in Ring of Elysium, there is this board of, I can't remember what they call it, I think they call it lottery, but what you do is, much like any other Battle Royale game and anything similar at the minute, you have these points that you could earn by doing certain challenges in the game, and then you can use those points to buy stuff in the game or buy your next season pass or whatever, or if you don't want to be arsed doing the challenges, you can just spend real money to get these points. So they're earnable, but they're also purchasable. So these points, then, you use them on this board, and this board's got, like, I think it's 25 items on it, and you can buy up to 5 goes at this lottery board per week. So you buy your 5 goes, you can see what you can possibly win, and the thing, like, spins around and lands on a random thing, and you get it. And it's either, like, a bit of a credit refund or a little bit of a cosmetic, like a gun skin or whatever. It's these things. But then those 5 things are locked out. So then the next week, you can have 5 more goes and you'll get 5 different items off the board. So then you've marked 10 off. And then the next week, you've got 5 more goes, so you can do it again. And that happens until the board... So you can legitimately get everything off that board at some point. It's just about whether you hit the thing you want in one go or if it takes you the full 25 to hit it.
Yeah.
So it might take you 5 weeks with 5 goes per week to get that very last item, but you are 100% guaranteed to get everything on that board for your money.
Eventually.
Which is the big difference. Yeah. And that's where the difference between Ultimate Team packs are compared to surprise toys, because although you might get duplicates in surprise toys, everything's got the same value, so they're far easier to like trade or do whatever with. And that's the big difference, especially when there's figures out recently that like there's people saying they've sat and worked out how much they spent on Ultimate Team packs to get a particular squad, and they've spent like hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous.
I watched a guy spend £15,000 on Ultimate Team packs. It was like when they did the team and the year team and stuff. And he literally, if he resold everything they got out of them packs, he made about £2,000 back.
Yeah, so he can't even make the money back. Exactly.
No.
It's because it's ridiculous. It's full of the same thing again and again and again, and your 1% chance of getting that one card or that one player or that one thing from whatever you're opening on any game, because you will get a duplicate, and you are guaranteed duplicates more than you're guaranteed the best card in the pack.
The way that it would work as the surprise mechanics that they kind of pitch them as is if they said to you it's like a, let's call it like say a 95 plus pack, and you might have to pay a bit more to have that pack because it's quite an elusive high level item, but you are guaranteed to get an item that is above a certain rating. There's maybe even a list saying here's the 20 possible things that you might get. And yeah, fair enough. The chance of Ronaldo or Messi is a lot lower than, I don't know, fucking name a good footballer, James, that's not over 95 on FIFA. Mbappe. He'll do. Mbappe, right? So the chance of getting Ronaldo or Messi is probably a lot lower than getting Mbappe, but you're guaranteed somebody of that kind of caliber. People would probably happier buy that and know that they're going to get that card
than Phil Jones.
Exactly. Over and over again for like 2 weeks. But then EA won't make as much money. And that's why they don't do that.
Exactly.
But how many more people... Like, I'd be more inclined to buy Ultimate Team packs if I knew I could buy those.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather spend £10 on a couple of those packs than 50 quid and never get anywhere with normal packs.
I could even cope with just league packs. So you have a Premier League pack, etc. For all the different leagues. Because when you're building a team on Ultimate Team, because of the chemistry and everything like that and how it works, they've got to be in a similar league or a nationality or something of that sort of like comparison or whatever. I can't even think of the word. But if you were to buy a pack and you were building a Premier League team and you bought a Premier League pack, you could deal with getting them shit players from fucking Brighton or Cardiff or wherever, because you know you're more likely going to get an Aguero or a Kevin De Bruyne or someone like that, or a Salah or a Kane or whatever.
I agree with you there. So if you could buy something where you've got some form of guarantee, like saying it's a gold pack and some of them are going to be rare, is not enough of a guarantee in my eyes for them to say this isn't a loot box, it's a surprise mechanic. But to say buy a Premier League pack is acceptable. And I think that there should be more of the player-only packs. I don't know what it's like for those now, but there's nothing more annoying than buying a pack and like 60% of what you've got being kits you don't want, ball styles you don't want, grounds that you don't want, and all that kind of bollocks.
Yeah, like the consumables are alright for like contracts and fitness and stuff like that. They're fine.
Yeah, but some of it's just bollocks.
Yeah. You should be able to exchange unwanted players for stuff like contracts and that.
Do you know what you should be able to do? Again, it goes back to a game that I'm sort of biased towards because I play it a lot, but Elder Scrolls Online has a loot box system, right? You spend real money on opening boxes, and 95% of the time, it is either consumables like potions and like XP boosters and shit like that. You'll get like cosmetics like tattoos for your character or the odd pet, things like that. But it's very rare and hard to get like the big mount, which is like, you know, the big whale, the thing that you want to get out of those boxes.
Yeah.
The difference is if you either already have the cosmetics that come out of it or you don't want the consumables. So like if you're happy to just throw away the XP scrolls, throw away the potions, they give you something called crown gems. And if you save up your crown gems, you can buy rewards of different tiers. So there's like, say, a 20 gem tier. And for that 20 gems, you might be able to buy like a hairstyle for your character or something like that. And then for 40 gems, you can buy a small basic pet or like a piece of furniture for your housing in game or whatever it might be. And it goes all the way up to about 400 gems where you can buy the huge, everybody wants it, cool as fuck mount. So if you've taken the time to open the crates and you've said, I don't want this absolute shit consumable, you'll eventually get the mount because you'll have saved up enough gems to get the mount. So that's their way of guaranteeing that, like, within this number of box openings, you will have technically had the mount, because you'll either have actually physically gotten it by opening the box, or you'll have had enough things that you can choose to trade in to get gems for the mount. Because that's how I do them. Like, I keep all the cosmetics and I'll get rid of all the consumables and just build up gems. And like in 2 or 3 weeks of playing and opening fuck all crates, I've already got 100 and something gems, because you get crates from like leveling up and all sorts of stuff. And I've already got 100 and something gems. So if I was actually buying and spending money on crates, I'd probably have 400 by now and be able to buy that mount that I want. So that's another fairer way of doing it, where you can get rid of the shit that you've received. And fair enough, it's not like a 1-for-1 trade value. You're getting less than that item would cost you to buy, but you're still eventually getting what you want, I guess.
Yeah, there's an end result to it.
Yeah. Whereas there's never a guarantee of getting Ronaldo or Messi unless you physically go buy them off somebody else.
But doing it the way that Elder Scrolls does it limits the amount you need to buy, because you're going to get the currency to get what you want in the end. So you don't have to continuously keep going. So you do limit yourself. Let's say it took you 100 to actually get the mount from a random box, or to get Messi from a random card pack, whereas earning the coins or whatever, costs you 50. So it limits you to 50 rather than keeping going past 50 to get what you want. So yeah.
Yeah. And that's it. And if you're lucky enough to have hit the item that you're looking for within those 50, it's a win-win, because you've hit the item you want and you've ended up with gems that you've been saving. Yeah. So then you can get something else that's just as cool that you wanted, like the pet that matches the mount, or the outfit that matches it, or whatever. Yeah. So, yeah, or you can have Neymar because you saved them. But like, I don't know. I think we've given EA far too much airtime.
We always do. When it's loot boxes, it always carries on longer than required.
Yeah. We'll quickly move away.
Anyway, before we do, at least with a Kinder Egg, you get some fucking chocolate.
True. You've always got chocolate.
That is sweet.
Yeah. Bittersweet. Very clever, James. Lastly, just before we do move on completely, apparently we should have mentioned last week when we had no news that Crash Team Racing is out. Technically, it wasn't out when we recorded, and we don't really talk about game releases that much unless they're sort of the huge AAA ones. But HJO 1403 was very disappointed we didn't mention Crash Team Racing being remastered last week. So
he's been playing it mentioned this week.
Well. Yeah, he's been messaging about it quite a lot from what I've seen as well. Best game of the year, apparently.
That's what he said. Yep. That is what he said. Speaking of game of the year,
it's time to play a game.
See how I segued into that?
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it.
Good. It is that time of the week where two of the King brothers go head-to-head, and the other King brother hosts a game. The scores, as it stands at the moment, are me on 11, Joshua is on 3, James is on 3 as well. It's actually Joshua's turn to host this week, which means that James and I will be going head-to-head. I'm intrigued as to where this will go, because it's a Joshua game, which, as many regular listeners will know, they're usually terrible.
And last week I mentioned something about Hopscotch, and guess what I've done?
Oh, no. No.
You told me I had to, so I did.
So we're at a point now where Joshua takes requests.
Regardless what that may be.
Because redoing his old games and me getting angry at him for ruining the concept. This is the thing with Joshua, right? Joshua's always got great concepts and poor execution. So here we've given him a concept by Hopscotch. So let's hope for perfect execution.
We'll have to see. We can only hope.
Go on then, Joshua, explain your game. Let's get it over and done with.
It's difficult to explain, to be honest. Listen.
Oh, God, here we go. It begins.
So I've got 5 questions on like a Hopscotch board or grid or whatever. So I don't know what they're actually called, just like your squares.
Can you not go to 10 on Hopscotch?
Well, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. It depends. It depends on how many feet you use and how many steps you want to use, but I've only used 5 steps.
So, start again, because James interrupted him, really put me off.
You have to answer either 1 or 2 questions correctly to get your point. But in order to collect your points and keep them, you have to get to the end of the Hopscotch board.
Okay, this is working well. I'm liking the concept. Okay.
When you get to the end of the board, I've made 4 of them, so you can pick between 1 and 4 to start with and pick your own board. After you've completed one, you pick another one.
Okay, so we've got 2 boards each.
Yeah, you've got to get all 5 questions correctly in a row to finish your board, or you fall over and you've got to start from the beginning. And you do have to stay.
So then you...
Yeah, so you go from 1 to 3. You get number 3 wrong. You just go through again and try again. If you
hang on.
Go on.
How do you beat the other person then?
Listen, if you get to the end of the first board, 5 questions right, you've got 5 points. That's it. You've banked them. You've got your 5 points. You can then pick another board. You can pick the board your opponent's on if you want and have a go at theirs and get to the end. Because they might have already got to question 4 and then got that wrong, you've got 3 answers already. So you've just got to make sure you give me them 3 answers and finish it off. And then you pick your next board and you pick their next board because they didn't finish
So it's the first person to finish 2 boards?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. I think I understand.
Enjoy your point.
I think it might work. I think I understand the concept. It's like a steel game. Yeah. Okay, let's just do this.
Just very quickly. So if, for example, you're on question 1, that's 1 foot, so you've only got 1 thing to answer to move on. If you land on question 2 and it's got 2, you've got to answer both of them and then move on. And I'll do it like that.
That bit's the easy bit to understand.
Yeah, we understood that bit. We got that bit a long time ago.
This is going okay so far, so let's see how this goes.
Don't get excited.
I am a little bit.
Fucking go with it. Go.
1 sec. How do I turn this off?
Are you setting the stop?
No. Man, I found my Division watch in the past few days, and it's just decided to start beeping because an alarm's set on it.
It's Division time!
I think I've been activated.
My city needs me.
Who's going to pick first? You two can decide that. Who's going to pick first?
James, you can have the honours as being the one that's behind.
I'll pick 1 and 3 to be odd.
You're only picking 1, so pick 1.
Oh,
between 1 and 4.
You pick your first board first.
I'll pick number 1.
Your board number 1. Thomas, which board do you want when it's your go?
Just because James wanted it, I'll have board 3.
So James can go first and have his first go. If he gets 1 wrong, that's when Thomas will have a go at his, and then we'll go back to James on his board. If James,
we'll work this bit out. All right, we're all right with this bit.
Just making sure. So James, I've based the questions on quotes from people in video games. You either have to tell me the name of the person or the game they are from. You can do both.
Right,
some of the quotes have the person's name in it, so you'll have to tell me the game. It just works out that way.
How many quotes are people saying their own name?
A couple.
Unless it's a Khajiit character in Elder Scrolls.
A couple. Not all of them, but some of them do. So I've avoided them as much as I can, but some I am.
Stay a while and listen. Is that in there?
You'll have to find out.
Yeah, it is.
James, first question. Stay a while and listen.
Also, you know, if you end up going through it the second time, I will give a clue on the one that you got stuck on. So I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to leave you hanging.
Okay.
James, first one. It's me, Mario.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I think that could be Mario.
Incorrect. It is technically someone called Mario, but what game is he from?
Mario?
No.
Oh, I see what he's saying. He did say that if the person says their own name,
Ezio,
you have to name the game.
Assassin's Creed.
Why would Ezio say it's me, Mario?
Not Ezio. that Mario from Assassin's Creed.
It is Mario, Uncle Mario.
His uncle or whatever.
So, yeah. I will let you have that. Moving on then. There's 2 on this one. So, first one is, hey, listen.
Hey, listen. Come on,
Hey,
listen. Do it like the character.
Navi from...
it's Navi. That's fine. That's enough. Next one in this one is, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum. Correct. Number 3, what is better, to be born good or to overcome evil nature through great effort?
BioShock. What's his face?
Incorrect. Not right. Thomas sounds like he might have it, though. But I will give you a clue on that the next time round anyway. Thomas, you wanted number 3, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right. First one, then. Praise the sun.
Is mine quotes as well? Or is what's my theme?
They're all based on quotes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's Dark Souls.
It is, yeah. The next one is just one on its own. Follow me.
Abe's Oddworld Odyssey.
Yeah. The next one, number 3, has 2 in it. So the first one is stay a while and listen.
Stay a while and listen. It's Deckard Cain Diablo.
It is. The next one for that is I have returned after an eternity away from you all.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, wait, I have returned after an eternity away from you all. And then he goes on to say his name, which I'm not going to say because it gives it away too much.
Oh, do you know what? I nearly just took a really stupid punt in the dark and I was going to say Handsome Jack, just fucking randomly. And then that gave me the answer. It's Jack of Blades, isn't it?
It is. I have returned after an eternity away from you all. Jack of Blades,
is back. Yeah.
The next one then, because that's correct, obviously. Number 4 has 2 in it. Shiva!
Resident Evil 5 and Chris Redfield.
Yeah. The next one, revive me!
Oh, shit.
More of a manly voice than that, though. Much more manly voice. I can't really do it.
I can't remember what it is.
That could be from literally anything.
It could.
No, there is one thing, though, that I know that he's trying to reference where you specifically get that shouted at you a lot. And I can't think what it is.
That probably sounds a bit better.
No, I'm just going to take a random punt and say World of Warcraft.
No, it's not.
I can't.
We'll go back to James.
I'll probably get it with a clue, but I can't think what it is.
We'll go back to
James.
Bitches. You are back. So I'll not bother going through the others with you because we know the answers to them. So you had Uncle Mario from Assassin's Creed, Navi, Duke Nukem, and then we got stuck on this one. What is better, to be born good or to overcome evil nature through great effort? We mentioned him in last week's podcast. He's a dragon from...
Oh, it's something from fucking Elder Scrolls.
Does he have to name the specific Elder Scrolls game?
If he names the Elder Scrolls game, I will give it him. But he's a dragon from an Elder Scrolls game. I'll not make you give me his name.
It's that mental long name, though, that I can't say.
Not mental long.
So if you tell me the name of the Elder Scrolls game, I will let you move on.
Oh, I don't know the name. I don't know the names of them.
You don't know the name of the
I've already mentioned the name of this game in this podcast.
I don't know.
Begins with S.
There's only 2 Elder Scrolls game story series that isn't ESO.
Oh, it's Skyrim.
There we go.
Well done.
Jeez, I can't believe I helped him that much for that.
Next one then, no clues. Don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it.
Oh, come on.
I'm guessing Thomas knows that immediately.
Anybody from our listenership that also ever listened to Xbox One Party Chat will fucking be loving that. They'll know it.
I don't know.
So we're going to have to go back. Don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it.
Trying to think of a game that's got a girl in there.
Push it. Push
We're
him.
gonna have to come back around.
Yeah, leave it. Come back.
Have a guess then. Give me a guess.
Cortana.
Oh,
correct.
For fuck's sake, you little...
Correct. It's Cortana from Halo 3.
I even gave you a hint by saying any of our listenership that also listen to Party Chat podcast will...
Moving on then, because this game will take a while if we don't move on. Fus Rodar!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's not hard. It's really not that hard.
What? Fus Rodar.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
Incorrect. Thomas, we're going back to you. Where's yours that I had? Dark Souls, Abe's Odyssey, Diablo, and Fable. We got Shiva. Revive Me.
Yeah, give me a clue then.
The main character of the game wears a bandana, and quite a lot of the characters scream this when they are down on the floor waiting to be revived. It's in the story mode more than the online mode.
Okay, so I can get away with just the game, right?
Tell me the game, yeah, because it's most characters in this game that will say this when they go down, so...
I'm going to guess Gears of War then.
It is Gears of War.
Yeah.
And the last one for you then, to secure your first 5 points...
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's time to make some crazy money. Are you ready?
The announcer on Crazy Taxi.
Yes, it is. So you've got 5 points. We'll leave it at that. Let's just change that.
Do I now move straight onto my next board?
You can pick your next board, or you can steal James's from him because you know most answers for it.
James, do you want me to steal your board and just finish it, or do you want me to do a fresh one?
He's going to get a clue on his next go around, so he could still finish it.
It's completely up to you.
If you get one wrong,
are you going to be upset if I steal your board and finish it? No. I'll do a new board for the listeners so we can make use of more of your questions. I'll have board number 2.
Number 2, all right.
Yeah.
First one on board number 2. I'll open the door. I've got.
Sorry, do I get to restart this one if I'm wrong?
You've not got one wrong. Yeah, you get to restart this one if you're wrong. You can't pick a different one.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah. I'll open the door. I've got the codes.
Is it who I think it is? Is my giggle appropriate?
I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking.
I'll open the door. I've got the code. No, that's a really bad impression of him if it is what I think it is.
I have no idea what you're on about, so it's probably not.
Right. Oh, shit, then it's not that. I'll open the door. I've got the codes. That could be anything. Portal.
No, it's not. So we'll go back to James on his then. Fus Rodar.
Come on, James.
It's from Skyrim.
Oh, Skyrim.
Yeah, but I need to know who says it, and it's a dragon shout.
Rodar.
I don't know anyone or anything.
He's throwing you down a really dark path here, James, that I don't think you'd ever get it. So I'm going to tell you the answer. Okay? The answer is you, your character.
Me. Myself and I.
Have you ever played it, James? Can you actually say that it's you?
Is it fuck me?
It's Force Push.
It's Thomas when he played it.
It's the Dragonborn from Skyrim, which is your character, and it's your push shout.
Push
you finished it. Yeah, that's a very good impression of it, to be honest. Just a bit louder, and it would have worked.
Push
I will let you have it because Thomas helped you, and he couldn't bear to let you struggle. But you've still got to get your last one. Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Oh, Vass.
From?
Far Cry 3. I don't need to give you where he's fucking from if I know his name, bitch.
No, that's true. That's true, but for the listeners, just so they know as well, it is. So James has got his 5 points as well for that one, with your help, Thomas.
Yay.
So you both got to finish a board each. James, you can either steal Thomas's board when he's not really done much on it, or take the other one.
On it because I got the first one wrong.
I'll have my own.
Yeah, I'll have your own. All right, then. So the first one on this is all your fault. I'm going to kill you, and all the cake is gone. You don't even care, do you?
GLaDOS.
What? How is it that I got the correct... Am I just, working on the wrong board here?
It's possible.
It's so coincidental that I just randomly guessed GLaDOS and Portal, and then that is actually the answer on the other board.
The next one, Kill-tacular.
The guy from Halo.
Yeah, the announcer from
The
Halo.
announcer,
Yeah. He doesn't.
This one's got 2 in it, so you could get both right before we move on. Welcome to your doom. That is a goodish impression. It is.
Welcome to your doom. I don't know.
Welcome to your doom.
Doom?
No.
I've got no idea.
Incorrect on that one. Go back to Thomas on his and he gets a clue.
That's
I'll open the door. I've got
one.
the codes. It's from the first level of the game. The character who says it dies at the end of the level and is bald.
Oh, fucking hell. He died...
You have answered a question already that is from this game series.
What?
I thought you only got one clue.
You get as many clues as I want.
Come on,
to give
James.
you.
I've helped you with at least 2
and
of
you
yours.
you entirely got an answer answered by me and Thomas, so shut your face or I'll take that off you.
Too late now, bitch.
We've already had a game from this series.
You have already answered a question with this game as the answer.
Fucking hell.
And
it's right at the beginning of a game.
This is the character. It dies at the end of the first level and says this just about all the way through the level.
I'll open the door.
I'll open the door.
Wait
I've got
a
the
minute.
codes.
Have we actually had a Borderlands question?
No.
So it's not Claptrap then?
No, it's not Claptrap.
Because there is one where Claptrap says, I'll open the door, I know the code.
On
There's in Borderlands too.
Yeah, he's constantly saying,
He doesn't die, so...
Yeah.
Can you just repeat my first board to me again?
Your first board.
Yeah.
Praise the Sun, Dark Souls, Follow Me, Abe's Odyssey, Stay a While and Listen, Jack of Blades, Shiva, Revive Me, and the Crazy Taxi one.
Oh, so it must be someone from Gears then.
Yeah, he hinted far too much at that.
Yeah,
Revive me.
Revive me.
I've already said the character dies at the end of the first level. It narrows it down quite a bit.
I can't remember which one
He's
it is
bold.
that dies, though.
I've already said he's bold.
I can't remember which one dies.
I thought you only have to give the game title anyway.
But he's already...
I've already given that as a clue.
Carmine doesn't die, does he?
No. Not immediately. I think every Carmine dies at some point.
Carmine.
They are the disposable back actors, really.
I really don't know.
He's bold. He's the leader of the group.
Oh, surely it's not Lieutenant Kim. I thought he was in it for ages.
It's Kim. No.
Lieutenant Kim?
In it for ages. Yeah, Kim.
Okay, I'll take that.
He gets stabbed at first act by Ram with his sword.
Oh, yeah, he does.
And lifted up real high and then just tossed aside like he's a shitty sandwich that Ram didn't want anymore.
Okay.
Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better.
Oh, fucking hell, these ones are hard.
That's what she said.
Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better.
Yeah, this is a 2-parter, by the way, for number 2. They're all not... I try not to make them too easy because you just fly through them without passing it on. and that's the idea of it, to pass it around.
Yeah, so. I don't know this one. We've already had GLaDOS, so Mahjong.
Why, do you just wish you were better at it?
Yeah, I just haven't got an idea.
It's not anything to do with Mahjong now. So I'm going to move on to James's again. You'd actually got quite far. You got to Welcome to Your Doom.
I've got no idea.
It's a Sega game where your character turns into an animal or a creature of some kind.
Oh.
Every time you encounter the boss, he says that.
Is it Altered Beast?
It is Altered Beast. Welcome to your doom! And then you fight him.
James might actually win a game, yeah.
He might do. Your next part of question 3, which is the one you were on, War. War never changes.
Oh, Fallout.
Yeah, that'll do. Question 4 is a 2-parter. When you
need this board.
Wake me when you need me.
Halo, Master Chief.
Well done.
I needed this board.
This one. James is probably going to win. Falcon Punch.
Fucking hell! His name's in it.
Falcon.
You need to name. You need to name who he actually is.
What do you mean who he actually is?
He's not just called Falcon.
Yeah, but you need to say what games he's from.
It's Captain Falcon from like Smash Bros. And
yeah, but what's he actually from?
That is what I've got down here because I knew you both know him from that. I was fair. Look at me, I'm dancing. Question 5, the last one of this board.
Claptrap!
That is not actually so much easier than mine.
It's not actually. It's CL4PTRP. That's his real name. It is Claptrap. James has finished his second board.
What's that? Hold on, let's just take a moment to appreciate this. Thomas has finally lost a game against one of us, and it was me.
After he helped you and didn't steal your board.
I still think that James should have had to answer where Captain Falcon's actually from. That's all I'm saying.
Let me try and finish off Thomas's ones.
It's still your go, so you can steal all his points here. And leave him with just one board finished. So the first one is I'll open the door. I've got the codes. It was Kib. Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. And I'm not giving you any clues.
What?
Well, you don't need any clues. This is your first guess on it. It's Thomas's second guess on it when it comes round to him. And it's his board, so he gets clue priority. Because if Thomas finishes this board, I've got a tiebreaker.
I've not got a clue. Pass.
You've not got a clue, right? Thomas, it's your go, and you've got a clue. Although it's not easy to give a clue for. It's a character called Chief from a game largely on Nintendo consoles where you build a town with your own house and the residents are animal humanoids.
Oh, is it someone from Animal Crossing?
That is such a ridiculous clue to give.
James, you got an answer given to you. We'll stop saying that when you stop pointing out that the clues are really easy. Yes, it is. It's Chief from Animal Crossing.
I'd have never
the
got
next
that.
one. No, it's a fucking hard one. Nothing is true, everything is permitted.
Oh, fuck. That's Assassin's Creed.
Who from Assassin's Creed?
Oh, come on. It's loads of them have said it. It's the actual Creed.
Yes. Altair is one of the first ones that sort of puts it in your face, but yeah. Next one then. I am a great mighty poo, and I am going to throw my shit at you.
What?
I just need the name of the game that it's from.
Mighty Pooh.
Yeah.
See, the only thing I can think of right now is Mr. Hanky.
No, it's not Mr. Hanky now.
Good. Oh, wait a minute. Is it? I can't remember which one of the games it's from. It's from a Rare game, isn't it?
Possibly.
It's one of 2 Rare games, and I can't remember which it is.
Just give me a guess.
Banjo.
It's not Banjo.
It's the other one then.
James, you get a guess at it because we've already done the others with Thomas. And I'm not giving you any clues.
Because I've just given him the clue, basically.
Can you give me the thing?
Oh, yeah. I am a great mighty poo, and I'm gonna throw my shit at you. It is sang as well. Sung, sang, whatever.
I don't actually know. What did you say, Thomas? Banjo
I said Banjo and Kazooie, but it's not. It's the other one. Which
What?
I know now. I've said Banjo and Kazooie. I know that I'm wrong. Doesn't it call him a twat as well? By the way,
I can't remember.
I thought that they were a bit like PG Rare Games, but Sea of Thieves maybe.
No, it's not Sea of Thieves. Thomas?
it's Conquer, isn't it?
It is Conker's Bad Fur Day, yeah. Number 4 then, for Thomas. Thank you, Mario, but our princess is in another castle.
Toad.
It's a nice, easy one, that it is, yeah.
It is compared to the last 2.
Next one. Are you a boy or a girl?
What?
Are you a boy or a girl?
I've got a good shout at this.
It's 2-part, by the way, this one.
Can I have the other part first, then? At least get that out of the way.
If you want. No matter how dark the night, morning always comes and our journey begins anew.
Fucking hell, that's just as hard. Why is this board so hard?
You picked a shit one, to be honest. James's first one was an easy one. Your first one was a medium-y one. This is the hard one, and then the one that James got is clearly the easiest of the lot.
That one, I feel like that one's a Final Fantasy 10.
Yep,
or 10,
that's fine.
10-2?
Is
it 10?
You said Final Fantasy 10, that's what I wanted from it.
Right.
It is actually Lulu from Final Fantasy 10.
Yeah, I'd never remembered who it was. It just sounded like
I didn't need a name for that one. I've only put FFX.
And what was the other one that I was stuck on? Are you a boy or a girl?
Are you a boy or a girl?
I know this one.
If you get this wrong, James might steal it and stop you going to tiebreaker.
James has already won.
Wait, what?
James has got 2. If you finish this board, you've got 2.
Oh, right. Okay.
So there's a tiebreaker.
So he's not actually won then?
He's not won yet, no.
Okay.
He's got to steal this to win. You're on the verge. You're on the verge of losing one. I can't believe it.
That's why I'm fucking...
That's why you're stressing a little bit.
I'm just going to have to guess...
Quickly.
South Park.
No.
Fractured Butthole.
No, it's not. James, what's your guess?
The Professor from Pokemon.
Correct. It's a professor. It's a Pokemon professor for when you make your character. James has stolen that board. He's finished it off for you.
Yeah.
So he's won. James is a master of hopscotch and quotes from video games.
It's because I've done loads of games before with quotes from video games.
Do you want to hear the tiebreaker anyway?
Go for it.
Go on then.
All right. I've been thinking, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad. I don't want your damn lemons. What am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make sure life rules the day that it thought it could give you Cave Johnson lemons.
Oh,
do you know who I am? I'm the man who's going to burn your house down with the lemons. I'm going to get my engineers to invent a combustible lemon that burns down your house. And yes, it's someone from Paul. It's Cave Johnson from Paul.
Yeah, well, it was when you said Cave Johnson that it triggered.
It was the longest quote that I could find from a video game at all.
Yeah. It was saying Cave Johnson that made me realise what it was. And I remember.
Well, I wouldn't have got that, so it's a good job I won beforehand.
Yeah. Your second board was a very lucky pick. I thought Thomas was just going to go for the next one along and get that and then win.
I never really wanted board number 3.
Board number 3 wasn't the problem, it was the other one.
It was a ploy.
James has won. That means I've actually been defeated for the first time this year.
And that also means I am now behind in the leaderboard. Yeah.
So the scores are me 11, Joshua 3, and James 4. That game took a lot longer than I thought it was going to at first, so we're just going to have to move really quickly into it.
Quick thoughts before you do on how Hopscotch works.
It was okay.
It was fine. Well done.
Good.
James, your punishment for winning is that you got to read all these.
Okay, so
this pace that it doesn't take a long time to get through them.
Okay, I'll pause after each comment so you can add your comments to it and then just continue.
Do you remember what the question was?
It was a pick up and play game. What sort of game?
Yeah, people.
So basically, like 5 minutes.
Yeah, what people's sort of favorite games are to just pick up and get on with, like whether you've got 5 minutes spare or 5 hours spare, just something that you will always pick up and play if you've not got anything else on, I guess. So let's hear what people have to say.
JNK, not myself, but my initials. Animal Crossing has been my end of the day game for a long time.
Yes, it will be mine. It has come March.
Same.
Life's a Pitch podcast says Mario Kart. Pick it up, go through a few races, about 10 to 15 controls are super simple and very easy to just pick up and play.
I think it meant go through a few races in about 10 to 15 controls are super simple, just the way you read it there. But
there was no comma. So.
Yes, it played the grammar of the writer. I'd agree with that, because that's generally what my Switch is for. Like, if I don't know how much time I've got to kill and I've got some time to kill, I'll sort of generally put my Switch on, because it doesn't involve anything else except picking it up and just playing, which is what it's good for. So yeah, Mario Kart and Smash Bros. Are both up there for me.
David Underground Faria says, for me it'll always be Minecraft, especially ever since I started up a realm, which I'm proud to say is quite active lately.
Seamless.
Should we go Crash's realm?
Shameless plug. Shameless plug. I want to go Crash's realm now.
Let's go Crash's realm.
I want to go Crash's realm.
TKT in the house.
I'll probably get a message after he hears this and go, "You're welcome to come, guys. You're welcome to come." He doesn't realise the destruction we will cause. He's never seen what we did to Matt Earl's ship.
We weren't.
He's never seen what we did to Matt Earl's ship. That's all I'm saying. Do you remember that, Joshua?
We burnt it down.
For context, everyone. For context, just quickly, I'll tell the story as quickly as I can. But Joshua used to have a friend. I don't know if he still talks to him anymore. Probably not.
No, because he burned his ship.
Actually.
Not after this incident, it didn't. But he used to play a lot of Xbox with us, and we, like, way back when it's Xbox 360 days. This, isn't it? Like when it was first on the Xbox, we started a little multiplayer realm, playing together, and I started building a boat, I think, and then Matt decided he was going to build a better one. So he started building like a big pirate ship in what we designated as the docks. And it had taken him ages with all this wood. He'd been and gathered the wood and fucking treated it or whatever, so it actually looked like planks. Turned it into planks, whatever you fucking do to it, I can't remember. And he built this huge fucking pirate ship base, this huge boat, galleon thing. And me and Joshua with Flint and Tinder decided to jump on board it and just set it on fire and then just watch it burn.
I still
and
have
we just
this
sat there
server.
laughing, watching it burn. And Matt logged in and saw it burning and saw us watching it. It was like, "What have you done?" And we were like,
lightning got it.
It just set on fire. And he was like, "You fucking assholes! You assholes! It's taking me hours!" And we were like, "Mate, it's in water. We'd have thought it had gone out on its own." He was like, "You fucking assholes!" And he was just so mad. Context provided. So yeah, don't invite us to your realm because we'll burn it to the ground.
Or we'll build something so out there and outrageous that you'll not want it there.
A big penis.
A massive
Aaron
penis.
J. Thomas says, my pick-up and plays are Overlord and Fallout New Vegas. I played both many times, but they are great for a little bit of time-wasting fun. Sort of my toast and jam of games. Overlord satisfies a bit of soft strategy fun, and New Vegas quenches the exploration need. I suspect I'll be playing both on and off for quite a long time.
New Vegas is probably hailed as the best of the Fallouts, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
most people like that one.
I don't blame them.
I just really like toast and jam.
Yeah, I love how that's your takeaway from this.
Yep. Dan Smith says Pokemon Let's Go. Easy to play. Doesn't take too many brain cells to play either. Another good one is Days Gone. The story missions take up some time, but the side missions are always a blast. Quite literally, if you're killing a horde with a pipe bomb. Either side mission or just... Sorry, yeah, have I read that right? Yep. Either side mission or just ride around getting hordes to follow you to enemy camps and watch them skull fuck the NPCs, then lead them out and fondle dead, moist corpses.
Always got to lower the tone, haven't you, Dan? Every week.
I like it, though. I like it.
You would.
Yeah. Nats says, I don't have one, but I will when Animal Crossing New Horizons comes out. Winky face.
This seems an accurate statement. Because I agree with that. That I would probably be doing the same thing with New Horizons.
P. Kells 555. Paul Kelsall, OG Paul of the Paul Posse. Hi,
what a name.
Paul.
Hi, Paul.
It has been far too long since we heard from you.
He wrote into Back of the Grid this week as well. Shameless plug. He's finally become active again.
Maybe he's just been away.
He's been allowed his phone
He's been
back.
away. He's been far, far away.
My go-to clicker heroes can just leave running in the background and click every now and then.
That's fair. I couldn't sit and play clicker hours. Actually, no, I lie. You do end up sitting and playing clicker heroes for now because you're like, oh, I'll just get to this point for this upgrade. And then you get that upgrade and you're like, oh, it's not that far to this upgrade, so I'll just sit and wait for it to do it again. So, yeah, I can see that.
Brooke Archer says, I know I say it every time, but Formula 1 will always help me kill time. I'm always down to sit at my sim and play it for hours. Detroit Become Human has also recently stepped up to become a game I can play for hours. Highly recommend both games.
Detroit Become Human is an awesome game. It's very story-driven, and it's the fact that your choices really do matter. Like the little nuances of what can change in a single encounter based on what you pick. And the cool thing is that it shows you afterwards. So it like tells you, oh, well, you've seen this outcome. There's like 8 different outcomes, and this is kind of this is the path you went on. So you can see where things might have taken a different turn if you'd have said something different or done something different, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, I'd recommend Detroit Become Human as well.
Baby G Green 93, Glendolph the Green, Glen Green says, can always find time for a game of FIFA sometimes. No, there's meant to be a comma there, isn't there? Can always find time for a game of FIFA, sometimes USC if I've had a rough day. If I'm travelling and I'm not driving, the Switch and Mario Kart.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
I like the UFC thing. Is if he's had a rough day, just go kick the shit out of someone.
The shit out of people. It's fair.
To be fair, I like games like Fight Night Champion for stuff like that. So, I understand that. HJO 1403 says Madden is my go-to. Got sucked into Ultimate Team this year, and the solos are almost endless. If I know I've got half an hour to jump into PUBG and hit some challenges.
Yeah, I know he does because he's always asking for people to play with him in
Need a fourth
TKT. Yeah, he's always asking for someone in the TKT chat.
W2008 Paul Carter, also of the Paul Posse. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul. That's 2 high Pauls in 1 week. That's the first time we've had 2 high Pauls in 1 week for a while.
We need Axel
Where are the other
Leakage.
Pauls? You're lacking high, yeah. Axel Leakage.
You let the side down. You let the poles down.
I bet he's listening now, and he'll tweet us and be like,
like, God damn it! And then he'll up his game next week. But we need the other polls to stay stepped up as well. You stay on that platform.
All polls should step up.
Yeah.
Dummy 2008 has been flying the flag for you poll posters lately.
Dummy 2008 has been waving that flag. I just instantly thought of that 2010 World Cup song then. Give me freedom, give me... Sorry, I'll...
Can you just read the comment?
Gears Pop is a great one. I've been playing the beta and has lots of fun potential. It's a nice little tactical battle defense type game. Plays really well. The beta was limited, but gives a really good indication of an entertaining mobile game. Probably will be one you play whilst waiting for a bus, on a break at work, or the standard taking a shit.
Yeah, that's basically my Elder Scrolls Legends time mainly.
Yeah.
Ever since I learned that I could play it on both like PC and my phone, it gets played a lot. So like if I'm sat around waiting for someone to join me on Elder Scrolls Online or Ring of Elysium or something, I'll just sit and play that on the PC. And then if I go for a poop, it's Legends time as well. So it looks a lot like we were talking about this just briefly in the TKT Discord, actually, that King Thing Discord, and it looks a little bit like Clash Royale for anyone that's ever played that. Very, very similar, but obviously Gears of War themed and pop vinyl themed and stuff. So, yeah.
Anyone been playing the Harry Potter Niantic game?
Kate has.
How terrible.
Oh, yeah?
The first 5 minutes of it was so terrible that I've uninstalled it and not turned it back on. Does it remain terrible or not?
I don't know.
Well, you go get a report and report back to us.
Not.
Okay,
I'm good.
Not right now. I just mean another time. But at some point, go get us a report. Yeah, James.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, James. Thanks, James. Thanks. On that note, it is time to end because this is turning into a long episode. I guess it makes up for the fact that we did fuck all last week.
That's true.
If you'd like to get in touch with us on a weekly basis for any reason, you can do so by finding us on Twitter at @that_king_thing. You can find us on Facebook by searching for That King Thing, and you can go to thatkingthing.com, at which you will find links to Patreon, Discord, and anything else, really. YouTube, which we've managed to not get banned from again. We're still on YouTube. We've still not been banned from YouTube.
Yet.
Still, somehow.
Are you wanting us to? We could just do an episode where we say nothing but penis.
I just like it being a running thing of we've not been banned yet, because it will happen eventually. I imagine something will happen. But yeah, join us on YouTube too. Why not? Watch the podcast. And by watch the podcast, I mean
Watch me play with my nipples.
Watch a still of the screen that I've made for the podcast and just watch that. Because
might be better to use YouTube Music, not going to lie.
What are you on about?
Have you not tried YouTube Music before?
No. I always
I've got like a free trial of it.
I always press not now when it comes up.
Yeah. it's actually alright if you actually listen to music on YouTube, because you can like close your phone and stuff and actually like crack on with your shit, and you don't have to load the video, you know, if you're streaming through your Wi-Fi and through your data.
So Spotify,
you don't actually have to load the video itself. Pretty much, yeah. It's just like podcast app or whatever.
Just listen to it on Spotify, guys. It's already there. You don't have to pay any extra for that, 'cause you're already paying for it.
YouTube ought to pay me for that little plug I just gave them. Little shit.
I highly doubt you're ever going to get that.
Shut the fuck up. I got a point though, didn't I, bitch?
From my game.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.